Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Lisa Jasper Pio. Today I'm going to take you through computer study, and we shall look at what we call the introduction to computer, characteristic of computers, computer system, data, and information. Now, without wasting time, let us go straight away to what I have prepared for you. Now, a computer can be defined as an electronic machine or devices that receives, process, and store and output data for future use. So, from the definition of computer, you are going to realize that we have used the word electronic. That means that in order for a computer to work, it requires the use of electricity. Then we have also used the word receives. That means that all the information that you are going to maybe type or you are going to feed into the computer is going to accept by receiving. Then process means just like human being, for us we have our brain for processing the information. Computer also have what we call the brain, and the brain of the computer is what we call the central processing unit, and central processing unit is abbreviated as CPU. The work of CPU is for processing data. In other words, processing means turning data into information. Store. Computer also has a memory for storing data. And output data. Output means computer can also make the data available for the users to use. In case in point, maybe if you are using a projector, computer will display for you the data. Then, so that the data you feel like you should be using. So that is a brief definition of the term computer. Now, without wasting time, I think let us move to the next concept. And the next concept is what we call the characteristic of computer. Now, the first characteristic of a computer is speed. It operates with extremely high speed compared to human being. Now here, let me give you a simple example of speed of how computer process data in a very fast, let me say in a speedy way. A case in point, if you feel like maybe you should do some mathematics, let me give you a simple example of quadratic equation that maybe solve the quadratic equation x squared plus 2x minus 5 is equal to 0. Now, if you are to use maybe your brain to calculate this equation, you are going to realize that you are going to take maybe 5 minutes to calculate this equation, where you will begin by maybe writing the formula of bulldozer, or maybe x is equal to b plus 1 minus the root of b squared minus 4ac divided by 2a. But for computer, you are going to take less than 5 minutes. As soon as you feed this quadratic equation in your computer, you are going to press enter and the answer will be ready. So the computer, the speed at which the computer processes data is quite faster than the one for human being. Now let us move to the next concept, automatic. The operation of computer do not require supervision to do the task when instructed. This is very true. Now, let me give you a simple example. Because for me, I always believe that my learners, they always understand if I'm explaining the concept using simple example. So an automatic here, let me give you a simple example concerning what we call security light. So assuming you have security light at your home, and each and every time if you want the security light to switch on, you go and switch the knob, and if you want the security light to switch off, you always go and switch off from the main switch. But with computer, you can program and you can set in such a way that maybe from 7:30 the light must be on. The computer will tell, as soon as it clicks 7:30, the security light will switch on, and as soon as maybe it clocks 6:00 a.m., the security light will switch off. So instead of you waking up from your bed to go and switch off the security light, it will not be that. The computer will be performing for you that, let me say, those tasks. So that's what we call automatic. Then we move to the next characteristic. computer is accurate. Computer cannot make mistake. Any mistake made are due to human error. This is very true. So, if your answer is very wrong, don't begin blaming computer. You might have fed computer with wrong information because computer cannot make mistake. Computer works on the principle of what we call GIGO. GIGO means garbage in, garbage out. If you feed computer with wrong information, computer will also give you wrong results. But if you feed computer with right information, computer will also give you right answers. So that's what we call accurate. Then versatile. Computer can perform more than one task at the time. So this is also very true. Now, here, let me give you a simple example here. With computer, you can do more than 2 tasks at a go. So here, I'm explaining for you something. At the same time, I may use the same computer. I'm recording the screencast for maybe listening to the music. So with computer, you can do more than 5 tasks. Another one, I may be recording my video using this very computer. At the same time, I may also be typing any other thing. That means that I will be performing more than 3 tasks at a go. So computer can perform very many tasks at once. Now we move to the next characteristic of computer. We have what we call diligence. Computer have the ability to do the task repeatedly for long and relatively. Computer have the ability to do the task repeatedly for relatively long period of time without getting tired. Now, here, let me give you a simple example. Assuming you are in the manufacturing business, you may set your computer to measure maybe the quantity of the sugar. Assuming, let us just assume that you are manufacturing sugar. So you may set your computer to measure the quantity of sugar. The quantity can be 10 kilogram, 5 kilogram, then 2 kilogram. So each and every time computer will be performing the same task, maybe from morning up to sunset, all for 24 hours, and the computer cannot get tired when the computer is doing that task, because as long as the electricity, as long as the power is there, computer will keep on performing the same task repeatedly. That is concerning diligence. Then we go to what we call artificial intelligence. Computer can be programmed to assume human being capabilities such as learning, reasoning, adaptation, and self-corrections. This is very true. Now, in some developed countries like America, you are going to realize that they have manufactured a robot, and that robot can resemble a human being. Then all the work human being can perform can be programmed in that robot. So instead of maybe employing somebody to come and work in your hotel, so the robot will be there working in the hotel. So computer can assume what we call human capabilities. That's what we call artificial intelligence. In other words, you can program your computer to work like a human being. So that's what we call artificial intelligence. Now, let us move to the next one, what we call storage capacity. Computer have memory to keep data, program, information, either permanently or temporarily before or after processing. So this is very true. Computer has memory. Let me give you 2 examples of memory what the computer have. Computer have what we call random access memory. At the same time, computer have what we call hard disk. So if you are doing anything in the computer, before you save that work you are doing, computer will be storing in what we call random access memory. Then after you have saved your work, computer will now store that data in a memory called hard disk. So computer has storage capacity for storing data, programs, and information. So that is concerning what we call storage of data. Let me hope you are understanding this concept very well, because since there is no time, sometimes a teacher may not be there to teach you, but if you follow this tutorial or if you follow this screencast very well, you are going to understand more than a teacher can maybe teach you inside the class. Now we move to the next. We we have what we call communication. Computer can communicate with another computer to share information, data, programs, instruction through network. This is very true. This one especially using what we call internet. So assuming I'm teaching right now, and I decided maybe to open a program called Zoom meeting. So you are going to realize that the same content I'm teaching right now, somebody from Google is also receiving the same information, and at the same time you may realize that another person maybe in Arua is receiving the same information. As long as the person maybe have computer, the person can get his or herself connected to the computer, and the communication can take place between those 2 or 3 computers. That is concerning communication. Then we move to what we call programmable. Computer can be programmed and reprogrammed to take new tasks. They lack natural brain, and therefore they use stored instruction to do the task. This is correct. Now concerning programming, you can program your computer to do any task. Like case in point here, you can program your computer maybe to work for you as a security. Let me explain this concept using what we call CCTV camera. So you can program your computer with CCTV camera. So anything happening outside or inside your room, you can know, because the computer through the CCTV camera will be monitoring everything happening in and outside your compound. So as soon as computer is programmed, computer can do the new task. Another one, nowadays in developed countries like America, they are programming computer maybe to, let me use example of electric train. Electric train, they always use computer to program. So electric train may move from here up to maybe America, but you will not see any human being operating the electric train. The person operating the electric train may be in America, because all the programs have been installed in the system of electric train. So that's what we call programmable and reprogrammable. Then we move to the concept of what we call adaptability. Computer can be adapted to work with different setting program in different environment. So here it depends on what you are doing. If you are a teacher, you can use computer in teaching fraternity. A case in point, you may use computer software like PowerPoint and projector to display what you are going to teach inside the class. Then adaptability again, you may also, let me use the case of solder. If you hear me, you may program your computer maybe to control dangerous weapons like missiles. So computer can be adapted to work in different setting program and in different environment, depending on the setting and the needs of what we call the computer users. So that's what we call programmable and adaptability. So my dear learners, let me hope you are getting the concept very well, because sometimes a teacher may not be there, but if the concept is well explained by the teacher, you can understand the concept better. Now we have what we call flexibility. Computer can easily be switched from one task to another and support a variety of peripheral devices. So flexible comes from the word flexibility. It means computer can be able to switch from one task to another. A case in point, right now I may be listening to the music, but if I feel like I should not listen to the music, I may close the music, then I may maybe go to watching movies. Then after some time, if I feel like watching movies is bothering me, I may close the task of watching movies. I may go to what we call typing maybe document. And if I feel like it is bothering me again, I may go to do another task, maybe like editing video. So that's what we call flexibility. With computer, you can move from one task to another. If this task is bothering you, you can close that task and you can move to the next task. So that is a clear explanation of what we call flexible. We move to next characteristic. We have what we call processing ability. Computer can process data into meaning information based on instruction from the user, just like the way I explained for you computer use what we call CPU, Central Processing Unit, and Central Processing Unit works like human brain, and the brain for computer is what we call CPU, and its work is to process data into information. Because at the point if you are typing something, you will be typing, then all you are typing will enter into the computer, then the CPU will now process the information, then the CPU will now turn that data into information, and the information will now be displayed on the monitor. So that's what we call processing. So processing means turning data into information. Then we go to the next characteristic, that is what we call portable. Computer can easily be moved or carried from one place to another. Example, laptop. So portability means you can easily move with computer from one place to another. So computer, in other words, under portability, computer is not heavy. Computer is very light. You can easily carry your laptop and move with it from one place to another. So that's what we call portable. Portable means computer can easily be carried or can easily be moved from one place to another. Saying it is not heavy, it is very light. Now, the last characteristic of computer is what we call electronic. So why are we saying computer is electronic? Computer is electronic because the operation of the computer requires the use of what we call electricity. Without electricity, you cannot use computer. So that is what it's all about. That is what is all about the characteristic of computer. Here is a summary of the characteristic of the computer. So let me know if you don't have any question concerning characteristic of computer. Let us move to what we call computer system. Now, computer system by definition is a collection of computer components that work together to process data into information. Now, in order for you to call a computer system, you must have the following things. You must have what we call monitor, you must have what we call CPU, you must have what we call mouse, and you must have what we call keyboard. So this one is monitor, this one is keyboard, this one is CPU, this one is what we call mouse. So if mouse, keyboard, CPU are connected together, they form what we call computer system. Now, let us go to what we call categories of component of computer system. So computer system has been categorized into the following. We have what we call hardwares, data, softwares, users, all humanware, and the last one is what we call procedures. So those are the categories of what we call computer system. So we shall look at them one by one. Let us begin with what we call computer hardware. So computer hardware is just any physical or tangible part or component of a computer that can be touched and seen. So if you enter into the computer lab, all what you are seeing is what we call computer hardware. Things like mouse, keyboard, monitor, they form what we call computer hardware. All the components of computer hardware you are able to see, touch and feel is what we call computer hardware. Now let us go to what we call function of computer hardware. One is inputting data. So inputting data means you are going to enter or you are going to feed the computer with your data. Let me give you a simple example here. If you are using keyboard for typing data, you will be feeding information with that data. So that is what we call inputting. Inputting, this is just the process of feeding computer with information. Then the second function is what we call outputting data. Outputting data means making data available for the user to use. Because at the point, maybe if maybe you are saying you are watching some information from the screen, we shall say you are now outputting the data. Then storing of data. So one of the functions of hardware is for storage of data. Case in point, if you wanted maybe to save your work in the flash disk, memory card, CD. So you will be storing of your data. So one of the functions of computer hardware, it acts as a storage medium for keeping the data. Then the next one is processing data. Processing data means turning data into information. So those are basically the function of computer hardware. Now let us move to the next component. Let us move to the component of what we call software. Software is a set of computer programs that provide instruction to the computer hardware. So software here, those components of computer you are not able to see, touch, are what we call software. A case in point, we have Microsoft Word, we have Excel, we have PowerPoint, we have Access, we have VCL. So those are called softwares because you cannot touch Microsoft Word, you cannot touch PowerPoint, you cannot touch and fill maybe Microsoft Access. So those constitute what we call computer software. Now let's look at what we call function of computer software. One, control or manages the operation of the resources. So all the work you always do using computer is controlled by what we call softwares. Then provide a user interface. User interface is like what all what you always see on the screen. All appearing on the screen is what we call user interface. So one of the functions of the software, it makes it display for you information to be seen on the screen. Then guide the computer operation. So one of the functions of computer software here, it guides the computer. It guides the computer on what to do. So if you want to maybe to type something, you are going to be guided by what we call Microsoft Word. You're going to open Microsoft Word, then you're going to begin typing. So all those work is guided by what we call computer softwares. Then provide security of data. So under security of data here, software can help you maybe to set a password, to limit maybe if you feel like somebody should not access your data, you should provide security for your data by putting what we call password. So that's what we call provide security. Then computer error management. So under computer error management, sometimes we have some program in computer. Once maybe you have made some mistake, the computer will correct you through the use of what we call computer software. So those are the functions of computer software. So let us move to the next concept. So we are good to go. Now we have what we call computer users or human users. Or humanware refers to the people who operate and give instruction to the computer. Now, as a human being, computer cannot work alone. So you're the one to direct computer on what to do. So by directing computer on what to do, you automatically become part of computer called humanwares. So let us move to the function of computer users or humanware. One is to instruct computer system. So just like the way I told you earlier, that computer cannot work alone. It is the work of the human being to instruct or to tell computer what the computer should do. So that's one of the function of computer user. Then program the computer system. So computer system, sometimes if you don't program, it may not give you what you feel like you should do. So it is the work of human being to program computer. A simple example, if you want to do some calculation, maybe if you want to make the payroll, it is upon you now to program your computer, maybe by using what a program like Microsoft, let me say Excel, because Excel can easily perform for you the work of the payroll. So that's what we call the function of computer users or human. Well, I think we are good to go. Today we are going to discuss a lot of things. As long as you are understanding, there is no problem. So this is a simple concept. Now let us go to what we call computer data. Data refers to raw facts that are not meaningful to the users. Some students may wonder, how is it that it is not meaningful to the user? Let me give you a simple example here. Assuming somebody has given you a data like I may in come question mark. So this one make nonsense. So this is what we call data. That is a raw fact that have no meaning to the users. So unless you arrange this data, then it will now have a meaning and it will now be called information. So if you say, may I come in? So it makes sense. So that one is now information. But if it is still I may in come question mark, that one is what we call data, because it make no meaning. In other words, it is not meaningful to the user. So any raw facts that are not meaningful to the users are what we call data. Let us go to the function of data. It acts as a raw material for information. Yes. So in order for you to get information, you must have data. Then in order for you to get information, you must process data, or you must turn data into information through processing. So that's basically the function of what we call computer data. So we are good. We are good to go. We are good to go. Let us just pay attention here. Everything will be okay. Now, right now we are going to look into detail about what we call computer data and information. We are going to look at the difference between data and information. Now, just like the way I was telling you, that data refers to raw facts that are not meaningful to the user. Case in point, come, may, in, I. So that one does not make sense. So that one is what we call data. Now, information refers to organize and process data that are meaningful to the user. So if you arrange come, may, in, I, if you are decided to arrange maybe to may I come in, so that one become information because it is organized and it is now meaningful to the user. In other words, it now makes sense to the user. The user cannot understand what you are trying to say. But if you say may come in I, that one the user cannot understand the concept you are trying to explain. So that one is data. But if you now decided, maybe if you have arranged that word come, may, in, I do, may I come in, this one, may I come in, so that one will now become information because it cannot make sense to the user. So information can be words, information can be mathematical formula, information can also be a piece of music. So those are the clear differences, the clear differences between what we call data and information. So you should know, because we shall be talking about data, we shall also be talking about information. So in order for you to know the difference, it may confuse you. Now let us look at what we call the information processing cycle. So the process of converting or transforming data into information is referred to as information processing cycle. So that one is straightforward. I'm not going to waste time there. Then the information processing cycle is a series of steps that the computer follows to process data into useful information. Now, just like I was telling you, that data are raw facts that are not meaningful to the user. So in order for data to be meaningful to the user, we have series of steps that we should follow to convert or to turn data into information. We have almost 5 or 4 stages. The first one what we call input, process, output, and storage. We have 2 illustrations here. This one and the next one. They are almost the same. So in the exam, you can even decide to draw any because they are almost the same. So we have almost 3. Here we have 4. We have data, we have processing unit, we have information, we have what we call storage unit. Now let us come to data. So just like the way I told you earlier, that data are raw facts that are not meaningful to the user. So if you have raw facts, you are supposed to you are supposed to input, or you are supposed to feed that data into your computer. So the process of feeding or entering data into the computer is what we call inputting. So under input, we have very many input devices. We have keyboard. You can feed data into your computer by using keyboard. By typing. So if you are typing your data using keyboard, we shall say you are inputting. You can also use mouse, you can also use light pen. So we have very many input devices for feeding data into information. Then after the data has been entered or has been fed into the computer, the data will go to what we call CPU. CPU means Central Processing Unit. So Central Processing Unit is the brain of the computer. Central Processing Unit works like a brain. So once the data has been entered into the computer, it is processed. In other words, it turns data into information through processing. Now once data has been processed into information, we have two options here. You can store your data into the storage unit. So storage unit here, we have very many storage unit or storage devices. We have hard disk, we have flash disk, we have memory card, we have hard disk. So you may decide maybe to store your work in the storage device, like maybe hard disk. Then after you have stored your storage, let me say your data, let me say your information into the storage unit, after some time when you feel like you should again work on that information, you can retrieve. So we shall now come to what we call retrieval. Retrieval means opening the same work for further processing. So after you have opened that work, you can still work, you can still edit the work, you can still remove other things from the work through the use of what we call processing unit or CPU or the brain of computer. After you are done, you can output. Output means displaying the information available for the user maybe to use. So under output devices, under output you can use output devices maybe like projector. So you can connect your projector to the computer, then the projector will display all the information you have stored, all the information you have processed. Then all that information you can now use it for making decision. So in other words, that is a brief explanation concerning the data and information processing cycle. So that is how computer process information into data. That is a brief. So in summary, here are the explanation of what I was trying to explain for you. In summary, data input. Data input, the facts are entered into a computer system with the help of a suitable input device like keyboard, mouse, taskbar. The facts are sent into processing unit. I remember I explained for you this one earlier when I was still explaining using the other illustration. Then data processing. The CPU processes data by performing arithmetic and logical operation based on the instructions from the user. The result of the processing is information. I remember I also explained for you this one using the other diagram. Storage of information. The processed data or information are sent to the storage memory where it is kept for future use. The stored information can be retrieved from the memory for further processing. I remember I also explained for you this one earlier. Output information. The information is sent out in visual or suitable form provided for the user. I remember I explained for you that one. In other words, thank you for watching this brief video. So I expect you to go to my YouTube channel and subscribe so that you should be notified, because failure for you to subscribe for my channel, sometimes I may upload another tutorial, but if you have not subscribed, you will not know that let me say another information has been loaded to my channel. Otherwise, thank you for watching my short video. So see you next time. You can visit my channel at Opeo Jasper in YouTube. So otherwise, thank you for watching. We wish you a good